How are you, ladies and gentlemen? You know, whenever I start with an intro like that, then it is Wednesday, and every Wednesday on this channel I feature and react to your Bulls hot takes that you have been putting out all week. And with the draft starting tomorrow, trade season and high gear and free agency opening on August 2nd, we've got a load of good hot takes this time around, specifically around hot take trade proposals, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Before I get into the takes, I did just want to send a huge thank you to all of you guys, my viewers, subscribers, for getting the channel to 10,000 subscribers. I'm incredibly humble and grateful and amazed by the level of support for which you guys have shown for the content. When I started this channel back up in November at the start of last season, I had no idea it would grow in the way that it has, and it really is just a testament to how great of a fan base Bulls Nation is. So thank you to that. It really means a lot to me. Now, a couple weeks back, I also announced that I would be doing 5 giveaways on the road to 10K, and we did have 2 of those giveaways already completed, and the goal was to have the final giveaway done when the channel reached 10,000 subscribers. But since we hit that a little earlier than I anticipated, I still have 3 more to go. And if you're tuning into this video, then you're in luck, because the next giveaway, which is for the 2021 edition draft hat for the Chicago Bulls, which also has the NBA 75th anniversary commemoration logo. And in order to win this, I'll be switching it up a bit and actually selecting a member of the Bulls Central Discord server to reward those who have been a part of the Discord and in that community. I'll be putting all of the Discord names into a random generator, which will select a winner, and I'll announce the winner in tomorrow's video. Now, I will be doing the drawing later this afternoon, so if you're not a member of the Discord but you want to join, it is entirely free. I do not charge any membership fees, and you'll have a chance to win this newest Bulls Edition logo hat. And don't forget, I'll still have 2 more giveaways after this one. One will be a signed piece of sports memorabilia from Scottie Pippen, and then the grand prize, which will be tickets to a game for this upcoming season at the United Center. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of these videos for when these giveaways are announced. Anyway, though, enough about that. Let's get into what you guys came here for, and that is Bulls hot takes. And our first hot take comes to us from Blitz. Bulls sign and trade Lauri to Golden State, and we get Andrew Wiggins. Interesting. I haven't seen this type of trade proposal before. I mean, we know that Andrew Wiggins has been floated around on trade rumors for a while now, with the lack of direction that, you know, the Golden State Warriors are heading in. But first off, this trade really can't work as a straight up swap, as the money wouldn't work given the fact that Wiggins is on a max contract. Yes, Wiggins is on a max contract. I know that might shock some people, but when the Wolves got desperate in order to try to build around him and Karl-Anthony Towns, they were kind of forced to make him that kind of offer, which, you know, then of course they used to trade him to the Warriors for D'Angelo Russell. Now, Wiggins isn't a bad player. I mean, he certainly never lived up to the hype and the potential that was around him coming out of high school, as being touted, you know, to the next Coby or LeBron James type level of player, but he's a good player, not worth a max contract. Now, because he's on a bad contract, even though, you know, trading Markkanen for Wiggins in a straight swap, if it could happen, the Bulls would actually get the better end of it in terms of a player talent. But taking on a bad contract like that actually would make me just want to prefer to keep Markkanen at that rate, because bringing in Wiggins, who is going to be under contract at over $30 million a year until 2023, you're really going to be putting yourself in a bind when it comes to Lavine's free agency next season, and the value and impact that Wiggins would bring. Getting paid max level money just wouldn't be worth it for the Bulls. Next up, we've got Shishno. This is from the Discord, by the way, link in the description if you want to join. You can leave your hot takes there as well. This is Otto plus Lauri plus Troy Brown Jr. plus pick swap for Siakam. It's a lot to give up for Siakam. I'm also curious to know if that pick swap will be for next year and whether it's a first or second round pick swap. It's not a bad trade, although I don't really see the Raptors going for it, because I don't know if this move really makes them all that better. And for the Bulls, I really wouldn't want to give up Troy Brown Jr. I really liked what I saw from him in that limited time that he played after being traded to the Bulls before he got injured. You know, I think he can be a very nice two-way player off the bench, and he's young and still has room to grow. Obviously, Siakam is a star-level player with championship experience, so I would still take that trade. Just saying that piece would be a part of the trade that would be hard for me to give up. But either way, I don't think it would matter, as the Raptors likely would want a better return if they are going to, in fact, move on from Siakam. Next up, we've got Parzival, sign and trade Lauri Markkanen, Tomas Satoransky, and a first-round pick for Jeremy Grant and Corey Joseph. See, I told you guys there were going to be a lot of hot take trades this time around, but so let me first start by saying I love Jeremy Grant. I think he's turned into a great player in the NBA, and of course, he started flourishing on the Denver Nuggets, so he has the Arturas connection. I don't see the Pistons going for this. As a guy like Satoransky, it doesn't really make sense for the direction that they're looking to go in with getting younger and the fact that they're about to draft a point guard in Cade Cunningham. Markkanen would be nice because it gives them some shooting, and the first round pick you just mentioned, the Bulls don't have a first round pick to send until 2025. And is that enticing enough for the Pistons to wait on, given they're looking to build now and would want picks now and not 4 years into the future? I like this trade for the Bulls, but like the last one, I just don't see the Pistons going for this. I could see the Pistons trading Grant to align with their approach of a rebuild, but they're going to be looking for a much larger return for him. Next up, we've got, looks like some Hebrew. Otto Porter Jr. will be out of the league and not sign a contract with any team. No, I know as Bulls fans we get frustrated at the thought of Otto Porter because he basically was injured the entire time that he was with the Bulls and on a fat contract at that, which the Bulls didn't give to him, but they did trade Bobby Portis for him to take on that contract. I think we have to remind ourselves that when healthy, which yes, I know was rare, but when healthy, Otto Porter was actually a solid player for the Bulls. I look back at some of my initial videos at the beginning of the season, and there was even talk about Otto being the second best player on this Bulls team. So yes, I know his contract is expiring, but I disagree that he's not going to be able to sign with any team. He won't get the kind of bag that he got last time around. He may not even, be able to get much. I would say maybe the veteran minimum, but he'll find himself on a team, some team in the NBA who could use a veteran wing coming off the bench. Next up, we've got Spitfire. Signing and trading Daniel Theis should be something the Bulls should look at. Teams looking to win would love Theis. So I honestly hadn't really thought about a potential sign and trade for Daniel Theis because I've really just been thinking about how the Bulls need to keep him, and if not, I've always just kind of assumed that he would walk as he's an unrestricted free agent. That being said, though, you are right. The possibility of a sign and trade of an unrestricted free agent is still an option, and I completely agree that if you're getting the sense that Theis is going to cost too much or that he just doesn't want to stay in Chicago, and like you said, there's a lot of interest from teams in Theis, then yeah, why not at least consider a potential sign and trade to get something for him in return. All of that being said, though, I really do hope the Bulls are able to keep Theis as long as they can make the money work towards their salary cap. Next up, we've got Axel Issen. Kevin Durant will end up playing for Chicago at some point because, one, did you see what KD said on his live stream on Instagram? Two, well, you don't need any other reason after that. So I knew there would be some sort of take about this after I saw that Instagram feed go live. Yes, I did catch Kevin Durant's live stream in which he was with Zach, and he was poking fun at the fact that Zach was going to finally start playing defense and letting Billy Donovan know that. It was all in good fun. I'm not really going to read into anything other than that. These were guys just having fun, building friendships, and poking fun at each other. Kevin Durant is under contract, and even when his contract does expire, I really don't see him joining the Bulls, nor would it potentially even make sense for the Bulls to even go after Kevin Durant when he's in his mid-30s. Still a great and very productive player, but if we're talking about bringing in Kevin Durant at age 35 or 36, I don't want another repeat of a Dwayne Wade type situation. Next up, we've got PNW Able. Bulls will either barely make or miss the playoffs next year. Well, if that ends up being the case, then I think it's safe to assume that Billy Donovan will be looking for another job. Look, there is going to be a lot of pressure on this team to win and win now, starting with next season. The Bulls have to make the playoffs next year with all the moves that they've made and hopefully more moves that are going to be coming in the upcoming weeks. But if they don't make the playoffs, it's a failed season. Or even barely making the playoffs for that matter, I would still consider that a failed season. Now, I disagree with your take because I do think that with a full off season, hopefully some nice additions to the team, Zach's experience playing for the USA team in the Olympics will be enough to put this team on the next step and not just making the playoffs, but at least a top 6 seed. I really do believe that. Next up, we've got Austin Powers. The selection of Halliburton would have been better and valuable for this team, evidenced by our continued search for a true point guard and the trade for Vucevic, which accelerated our timeline to where we don't really have time to wait for Patrick Williams to hopefully break out in a few years. So I made a video on this topic a couple months back, and whether or not the Bulls made a mistake in drafting Patrick Williams over someone like Tyrese Haliburton, who clearly went later in the draft, or too late in the draft, at number 12. A lot of teams really screwed up in passing on this guy. Now, without a doubt, Haliburton had a better rookie season than Patrick Williams, and you could argue that as they both currently stand right now, Haliburton is the better player between the two. However, I think in the long run, Patrick Williams will prove to be a better player with more upside potential and will have the better overall career. And yes, you're right. By drafting Haliburton, that would have solved our point guard issue that we always talk about. But had we done that, we still would have been in a similar situation in trying to solve for our wing position rather than the point guard. I mean, either way, this would have had to have been solved for. This just would have been addressed at a different area on the roster, positionally speaking. Let's do one more, and this one comes to us from the Benny. Lavine carries USA to a gold medal. Well, this hasn't aged too well so far, considering the US hasn't looked great in losing their first game to France and didn't look that great in the exhibition either. Now, I know Team USA will be playing shortly against Iran and might even, the game might be over by the time you guys are actually watching this, but to your take, I mean, hopefully the US will still end up winning the gold medal. Will Lavine carry USA to it? No. I mean, really, when you have a stacked team of talent like Team USA has, you're not going to have a single player carry this team. I do think Lavine will be a solid contributor for the team, especially with the amount of minutes he's been able to get, having him in the starting lineup, so he will get good exposure and will be an important piece for Team USA, but he's not going to be carrying them to the gold. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there for this week. Don't forget to leave your hot takes in the comments below for future videos. Also, don't forget to join the Bulls Central Discord server to be included in the drawing for the newest edition of the Bulls logo hat. And as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.